everybody, Jim from Jim's Coleus. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Got a little thunderstorms coming in here. The weather in New Jersey has been really crazy, but beneficial for the Coleus. Those of you who follow along, I had a pretty decent farmer's market. It was the first farmer's market. Only one farmer showed up. It's a little early. Every year it's a little different. Just going crazy here. Never a dull moment here on the Jersey Shore. Excuse the fire horns. But anyway, farmer's market was a little slow. I did sell a few. I sold 3 hanging baskets and a handful of pots. But next week I'm sure will be much improved. And as the season progresses, as you can see, these Coleus are really taking off. So, hey, I'm just going to share with you a couple of tips that I do this time of year. And maybe you can apply it to your Coleus, depending on the situation with you. But I just wanted to show you how it just, week after week, it's amazing how they just, boom. I mean, just seems like, I've said it before, they just seem to really explode. So let's take a look, enough talk, and let's enjoy some of these beautiful Coleus. Okay, so we had a pretty decent, it wasn't a bad farmer's market. It's just fun to be out there talking to people. Had a few people who follow along on YouTube, and that's great. They bought a couple of Coleus. Hope they enjoy them. I had one that was looking for one of these fish Saturn rings, so I have that one brewing away for her. So if you're following along, don't worry, it'll be ready for you. But each week, and I've been doing it a few years, each week it's different. So I'd hope to sell all of them, and most of the time by the end of the season I do. I may not sell, and that's fine. I get to keep them, and then get some seeds and so forth for my eBay listing. But this just gives them more of a chance to grow in even more, and then I have a better chance of selling them also. But the colors are just fabulous this year. Really, 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 really nice. And look at that terrain there. They're just exploding. It's very humid today, hot. It's starting, we're just finally getting into the upper 70s and 80s, pretty sustained. And the Coleus are really responding. I just fed them the Miracle Grow all-purpose plant food. I have the bloom booster for my flowering plants, and also I use the bloom booster later on for the Coleus that are starting to go to seed. But everything looks really, really good. So the colors are fabulous, and that's just good watering techniques. Don't overwater your Coleus. Give them where I gave them a little water yesterday. Skip a few days, get to know the weight of your pots, feel the soil, dig down a few inches. It's best to skip a few days if you're not sure. It's more beneficial to skip a few days. It's not going to kill your Coleus unless it's bone dry and you completely neglect the plant for weeks without any water. You're not going to kill your Coleus, but it's beneficial to be conservative with your water and let the Coleus grow. You'll see it. You'll see how it really starts to benefit. So some of them everyone's a little different. There's some that are really stubborn, but trimming is how you get that lower growth going. So if you have a really stubborn Coleus, then maybe, and you have some big leaves like this one, then it's time to get aggressive with it and maybe snip those top 2 giant leaves, and that will get that bottom growth boost. So it's a sacrifice, but in the long term it will repay yourself. So don't be afraid of trimming. Trimming is the way to get your Coleus going. It's not going to kill your Coleus. You can't make mistakes. Just follow along here. Look at this crimson gold. It's really fabulous. So good color. Things are really starting to wake up. I love this solar, what is it? I got these from Rosie Dawn. Moon dust. Sort of a variant of the Saturn. But that's beautiful. I have another one outside that's gonna grow, and there's some more Saturns and jitters, wizard rose jitters. And there's another Saturn rings. Again, Saturn rings has the dominant green with a thinner edge. as opposed to a Saturn, which has a thinner green in the center and predominant purplish edge. So that's the difference. Empire Kongs. Empire Kong, how do you tell it's an Empire? You see that sort of that crisscross? It's almost like a crisscross action towards the edge of the leaf, and you got a large swath of purple and a little bit of pink there. That's your Empire Kong Coleus, and these are fabulous jumbo leaf planters. I always sell these on my eBay listing, so just save that, Jim's Coleus on eBay. I'll have plenty of Empire seeds, and they're just great, easy to grow, fabulous planters. So we're doing okay and looking forward to this Thursday, July 6th, for the second farmers market and here in Bay Head, New Jersey. And I understand the second farmer is going to be joining us, and I think they have another vendor that's going to be selling homemade dog treats, so that'll be an interesting mix. So all right, so let me go out now. You notice something missing here. What's missing? What's missing? Well, I'm going to show you what's missing and why they're missing. And let me get inside because I hear a little thunder and we don't want to get hit by lightning. Okay, so let's go take a look at the plants. Let's take a look at what I like to do at this point to get some real growth out of my Coleus. Okay, so now this time of the year, what I like to do now that it's warm, sunny, humid, we're getting rain, is to put out as many of these Coleus and keep them outdoors. Now, luckily back here I don't get any insect problems. My front yard is a little different. I get insects up front there because it's very shady. So if you have a lot of shade, you may have a little more insect problems. But this is what I like to do to get those gigantic mammoth plants. You can see this Defiance is really taken off. And one of the farmers gave me one of their baskets. I like to put the Coleus in these. It really, once this fills out completely, it just surrounds the whole basket, and you have a big, huge Coleus. And I believe I had the Saturn in the last one, so I'm going to get one more from them, and we'll put this beautiful Saturn rings in there because this is really taking off as well. Just as a note, over the past few months or so, I've been referring to these as inky fingers, and my friend Brooklyn and I have come to the agreement that whatever happened, I either got a wrong plant or misunderstood, but these are actually the rootings that I've had that I kept again referring to as inky fingers, and they weren't inky fingers, they were flamingos, and they looked similar, only the finger edges, but the colors are completely different. It's a completely different Coleus variety. But these are those rootings, and you can see they're really starting to take off. They're slower than others, but this planter's really starting to fill in. But what I like to do at this time of year is put as many out as I can. Now we're going to get some thunderstorms, so I'm going to shelter them a little bit. I put them a little closer to the house, but these hanging baskets are really starting to explode. I sold 3 at the farmer's market. But this is what I do. So for now, until I sell them, they will be out here. So if I don't sell these Thursday, when I get back home, they'll be back out here. And we have another flamingo. I may put that into another pot. And this is another variety. But they're really, this Defiance is really going crazy. So, and this week I will be fertilizing. It's been about a week. almost 10 days, I think, since I fertilized them last. And you can see these giant leaves here. So, what am I going to do now? You ready? You ready to cry? Yes. As difficult as this is, they have to go, because all that growth on the bottom, same with these here. This is sort of an electric line. And I'm glad I put this here, because it's quite a contrast to the darker. But we want to get all of this filled in. And we can't really, by having these giant leaves sapping away all the energy to the bottom leaves. So by cutting these, sacrificing and taking these big leaves now, you're going to benefit it, because in another 2 weeks, this is going to be huge. So sacrifice the beauty up front. Be patient and let the trimming fill in, and it will. So you can hear that thunder, so I'm going to be heading indoors. But I'm risking it for you guys. So I have my Boston fern out. It's moist, got some rain. They don't like sun, so don't put these out in the sun. My Calabrochia, Brooklyn, I hope I said it right. I put a little flare on there, but these are Calabrochias, doing fabulously. And look at this Coleus. See how fast this is filled in? I mean, 2 weeks ago, folks, this was nothing like this. A week ago, and look at this. And I have this, I decided to keep this one for myself. And that's that Saturn variant. And these beautiful Kong variations. So we're going to keep this for ourselves. And I have my clementine tree out. So beautiful, beautiful. This is the time of year for us here in New Jersey. We're getting rain, it's warm, it's humid, and and trimming. I did trim a lot of these, and I do that daily. I just come out and I see something, I'm like, you know what, it's time to go. And that's how I do it. Like this one here, it's got a little rip, it's kind of old, worn looking. It's robbing all the bottom growth. And believe me, it's just gonna make a big, big difference. So trim, 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 trim. Don't be afraid to trim early on like this. Get your plant growing to where you like it, to the size you like, and then it's maintenance trimming from then on. Okay, and this one's going along pretty well also. Got this fabulous fireworks. I call it a fireworks jitters, but it's a jitters. It's a jitters variation with some Kong red and wizard in there, and that is a crimson gold, and that is I don't know if that's a mosaic or a colossal marble. I want to say colossal marble. And this is going to grow into a fabulous, gigantic planter. And again out here, this one in the center here just died. So we're going to take that out and maybe replace it with another one. But again, I have these outdoors. Same thing here. Those are thought were inky fingers. They are not. They are flamingos, and these were the rootings from last year that I kept in the bud vases and planted in late May. And now, as you can see, everything's filling in, and this is really going to be a beautiful, beautiful planter. These planters I also rotate around, give them a little different aspect of light. All right, folks, so I'm heading in. Got the thunder and some lightning coming in. We don't want to stand out in the open here, as you can see. Really humid. So I just got home from the pool. Just barely made it home from my motorcycle, but we're getting some rain here. This is really fabulous for the Coleus, so don't forget to trim. So just use this as a guide to what you're doing with your Coleus. So, okay, hope you enjoyed this short video. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and the upcoming 4th of July holiday. God bless America. Happy birthday, America. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching Jim's Only Coleus.